I did some pinning. I think I figured out how we're going to do the skirt. I FaceTimed with my sister and she liked it over FaceTime, but I think I'm going to leave it pinned on and have her look at it in person before we make that the final decision. But I feel like today was kind of a waste because I didn't really do anything truly constructive. Like nothing is done, nothing is actually sewn together. But I have to remind myself that sometimes this is part of the process, and once we kind of really decide how the skirt is going to go and we get the outer fabric for the bodice, I think we'll be able to really start moving quickly. Felt like kind of a waste of a day, but I'm telling myself it wasn't. Anyway, here is what the full thing is looking like. So we have underneath the fabric that we bought for the lining of the skirt, which is actually the same lining I used in my wedding dress. The same fabric, not the same actual lining. And then we were worried that we weren't going to have enough of this top lace that Chloe bought, especially if we do this little gathering detail to give it visual interest along the edge. So I happen to have this lace that I found at the thrift store a few weeks ago, and I think we'll have enough to use as the second layer, and then we'll go in with this lace that she bought, which is really has a really pretty design on it. So that's kind of the really rough pinned up version of this. There will be hopefully a lot less volume up here. I think for the bottom lining layer, this layer, I'm gonna do a circle skirt with a train pattern. So there will be no gathering at the top here at the waistline. So that will reduce that a lot. I will have to gather the two lace layers because they have a scalloped edge. But if it's only gathering the two lace layers and not all three, I think that will really help with the amount of just volume up here. I might also actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this middle layer, I might pleat it at the waistline because I think that could also help reduce the volume, and then only gather the top layer. But that's going to be something we're going to have to play with to see how kind of our scalloped edge lays. On the floor, cutting out more of the circle skirt, actually recutting the first panel that I did because I made it too long because I was going to make it long and then come back and cut it shorter when we figured out the final adjustments or final measurements, and we have those now, so it needs to be quite a bit shorter. But Chloe, if you were watching this, I want this to be the most favorite skirt you have ever owned in your entire life, because my back is murdering right now, but I really want to make progress. So I'm trying to at least get the lining cut out tonight. And then the other layers of the skirt are not going to be a circle skirt pattern. It'll just be pinning it on the mannequin. So this is the last of the crawling around on the floor, hopefully. Saturday, so Hoki is home, which means I have a little more help with my daughter. So I'm gonna tackle dyeing all the various fabrics, since that's kind of a slightly more time intensive and like you don't want to toddler around while you're doing this. The only struggle I'm gonna have to figure out today is it's raining. So I don't know where I'm gonna hang up like how many yards, like 10 yards of fabric to dry when it's wet outside. Probably in my shower and my bathtub. We'll figure it out because it needs to be done today because I can't work on anything else until all this stuff is done. This lace that I'm doing right now, I'm like pretty sure it's a synthetic because when we did the test dye, it didn't take the dye very much. But that is okay because Chloe liked that it was like different levels of dye. Some were lighter, some were darker. But I am doing this one first because I'm just doing this with tap water, but I'm doing it at like the hottest setting, which is our sink is like almost boiling. You can burn yourself if you have it on the hottest setting. So I'm doing it first because the heat will help it set better into the synthetic. And then as I do the other fabrics in this same, I'm gonna do it in the same bath. The water will have cooled down, so it will apply less to those. It still will apply really well because the other laces are a blend, and then the last one I'm going to do is a fully cotton. Still have the variation that Chloe likes, but this gives this the best chance of having some dye on it and not just being white like it was before. Ugliest dye bath I've ever done. This looks like nasty septic water, but it gives a nice vintage dye. So okay, the next batch we have is this fabric, which is, I think it's like a synthetic blend because it kind of took like in between how much this one took and how much this one took. More than the fabric that I just did, but it didn't take as much as this one, which we know is a cotton. Something I'm noticing now that I'm about to do the third and final fabric is that this dye bath, I don't know if you can tell, it's getting lighter and lighter with each dye, obviously because the fabric is soaking up the dye. So now I'm wondering if I should add more dye in here or not, because it is the cotton fabric again, so it will soak it up better. But also Chloe liked that it was darker than the other fabrics. So I think what I'm gonna do, here's my plan, is I'm gonna dye the fabric in this current bath, the lighter bath. See how it takes. If it's too light, then I'll take it out, rinse it, add a little more dye into the bath, and then re-dye the fabric. I think that's the safest way to do this to make sure we get the color that Chloe's wanting. My like paranoid self is like the machine is gonna break and it's not gonna wash or something, and then I'm gonna have to do it all by hand. But I hear the water going now and I can see some water filling up, so I think we're good, which means I'm gonna go take a nap. Okay, final results are in. they're out of the dryer. And here is what we're working with. These two did take differently. Like one is a little more red and one is a little more like blue and brown. But I FaceTimed Chloe and asked her if she was okay with these 3 shades, and she said yes. She likes the different tones, so we're gonna proceed. Hi, it's Future Madeline. I wanted to get on here and do a little bit of disclaimer explanation before you watch this next bit of footage. I will be honest, I debated taking this next bit of footage out because it kind of makes me look dumb, but also at the same time, I am completely self-taught. I learned how to quilt from my grandma, but like sewing clothing, no one has taught me. Everything I've learned has been from like online or reading books and stuff. So there are definite gaps in my knowledge. I learned through the course of watching other YouTube videos, watching other people who sew online, that when you cut things on the bias, which is when I was doing that circle skirt, part of it is on the bias, you have to let it hang, ideally like overnight before you hem things, because the fabric will stretch out. So you can see I'm getting like super frustrated that the shape of the fabric is not the same as when I cut it out, and that is why. So rather than deleting it, I figured maybe there's someone else who is a beginner or who is like me and has gaps in their knowledge and doesn't know this. So I'm going to leave it in. So anyway, let's just all enjoy this footage and laugh at me not knowing what is probably a very basic skill. But you know, when you're self-taught, you learn things in a weird order. Last night I pinned the skirt all together. And then when I got it up on the mannequin and laid it out, I'm going to show you what it did. It's like not laying right, and I don't know if I just like pinned the pieces wrong, but it did not help with my like frustration and all the anxiety and everything last night, so I just like, I went to bed. And that's why I didn't really show you the final result of it being all pinned up, but I'll show you now, and I might have to like unpin everything and redo it and see if that fixes it. Okay, so up here looks great. And then you come down and like, what the heck is this? Why is it doing this? Because I laid the fabric out flat on top of this and cut it out to match. I did not pull it taut. It was very loose. So I don't know why it's doing this. There's such a huge border or discrepancy between the two. I'm hoping it's that I accidentally like flipped this top lace panel, because this is like kind of a train and it's a little bit longer. I'm hoping that's what happened. Otherwise, the only thing I can think of is this bottom fabric is a lot heavier, and so it's pulling down the length of this. It's pulling and stretching the fabric as it gets to the bottom, and this lace is really light, and so it's not pulling the same way. That's the only other thing I can think of. But I'm gonna start by unpinning it and laying it flat on the floor, because yesterday when I was pinning it, I was just doing it in bed. And I'm hoping I just like flipped the wrong pieces around or something. Okay, this is where I sometimes hate sewing. So tell me how I had the fabric all laid out nice and loosely. I wasn't like pulling on the fabric to make it fit. It was just nicely draped on top of the white lining layer. How is the cut this off now? And I did it with both, because there's two back skirt panels. I did it with both sides, and they're both like this. Like, what? Why did it do that? I'm so frustrated right now. Luckily, I think there's too much material on the sides anyway. So I was gonna cut that down. But I just, like, I'm so frustrated right now. Like, why? What is this? What is this? It is July 23rd, so we are officially less than a month away from the wedding, which is a little concerning, but I'm feeling a lot better today about the whole thing. The beginning of this week, I was like, there's no way this is happening. Just stuff with daughter not sleeping, me just not feeling great, but today we had a really productive day. I got all the boning channels put in, and then I got most of, I'd say about 3/4 of the outer lace layer put on, well, draped on and pinned on. So now I'm going to take the iron and press everything and then start hand sewing it all in place so that it stays in the shape once I take out the pins and the gathering stitches that I put in to help me kind of gather it as I was draping it. I was feeling like this week was like the worst week ever, and that I was never gonna be able to like sew and do my art or anything again because life is just too crazy. But today was like a really good day and was a win, and I really needed that. So we're motivated again and getting back on track. As on track as you can be for having less than a month to go before the wedding and the dress looking not finished. finished, and I am very pleased with how it came out. So now I need to add the waistband on the skirt, which means I have to cut off all this excess. And I hate this part because, like, there's no going back from this. Like, once I cut this off, this is the length of the skirt, no matter what. Unless I want to, like, shorten everything, and I don't know. It's just, this is it. This is the commitment. All along the bodice, I have, you can see here because the pleats got moved a little, but there's these little invisible stitches that I made. And then for some reason, in 2 spots down here at the bottom, they came undone. So I just need to go in and stitch those back down. And then we can add the grommets. Working on the modesty panel right now, and usually when you do a modesty panel, you have your lining layer, your outer shell layer, and then a layer of interfacing in between those. But because this corset is basically just like the lining and then this chantilly lace, if I did just these 2 layers, if I put interfacing, you would see it either through the lace, or it would be like exposed on the back, and then it wouldn't be very durable because it's like rubbing and shaping against your back, and the interfacing would just come off. So what I'm going to do instead, which I think will provide just as much support as an interfacing layer, is I'm just doing 2 layers of this cotton couture lining. So this is going to be my right side, this is going to be my wrong side, or my, like, this is going to be basically my outer shell, and this one is going to be the inside. So I'm going to sew on 3 sides and then flip it inside out and attach it to this before I put in the grommets. Showed this, but I put in the modesty panel. I think I started working on it, and then I was hand sewing it on the drive to Tulsa to take my husband's cousin back to school. So it's in now. It's all, I honestly am like pretty proud of my hand sewing. It's gotten a lot better over the last couple of years, which is nice. But anyways, yeah, so it'll just sit like this. When it's on the dress, the other side will come here. And then the grommets are going to go right here for the other side. But here's the one side done. So enough chatter. Let's get some work done. It is 11:55. My babysitter goes home at 12. So we're wrapping up for the day. But I did get to pretty much where I wanted to be, finishing the grommets and doing a mock-up of the sleeve. I'm kind of stuck at this point because I need to try the sleeve mock-up on Chloe before I can proceed. She didn't give me her wrist to shoulder measurement. So I kind of just guesstimated. I know her arms are longer than mine, so I took my measurement and added a couple inches. But because we're using the like pretty scalloped edge of the lace as the finished edge around the wrist, the length of the sleeve has to be exact. So I need to try it on her, make sure she can like move if we need to adjust the armhole at all. Check back in once we've tried it on Chloe and we're good to proceed. This is the lace that I'm going to be using. I got it at Hobby Lobby. It's laundry day, by the way. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and we really like this top detail, so I am going to actually just cut off this bottom part because we don't need it. And then, let me turn my mannequin around. It's gonna get tucked in here and just have like a little tiny bit of lace peeking out. So I think it's gonna look really nice. We already kind of tested it on Chloe. I might try to like unpick this bottom part rather than just cutting it off, but we'll see. Okay, so here's the latest development in the sleeve or no sleeve saga. So Chloe has been going back and forth on whether or not she wants sleeves, and part of the problem is every inspiration pick that she has for her dream dress includes sleeves like the ones we've been talking about making. And then when she came on whatever day that was, a couple days ago, to do her fitting, she liked the bodice without sleeves. So she's just been really torn because like her dream dress has always had these specific sleeves, but then she was like, no, maybe I don't need them. So I told her that today the babysitter is coming and I have 2 hours. And I asked her, would you rather me spend those 2 hours, because I finished everything else, would you rather me spend those 2 hours embellishing the skirt, adding like beads and pearls and stuff? Or would you rather me spend those 2 hours putting together the sleeves so you can see what they look like? And she chose me working on sleeves. So that's what we're going to work on for the next little less than 2 hours while the babysitter is here, and see how much we get done. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic I can get the sleeves put on.
Yeah, I like it a lot more with
Just the two?
yes. I think in my mind I had 3 sections because I think the other one looks a little too like Renaissance-y.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Turn around. Do a little spin. Okay, I'm not sure if this is going to be the last clip I film before we get to the final reveal footage. But Chloe came over and tried on bodice with the sleeves and decided she did actually want sleeves. So I just need to add these in, sew them down, figure out a way to make them look nice on the inside, because I already finished the armholes when she told me she didn't want sleeves. And then she's gonna pick out some ribbon that's gonna tie the arms. But that's gonna be like a 2-second thing. And the only other thing that I need to do with the dress is the left sleeve is falling down a little bit with the weight of the sleeve. So I'm going to just take it in just a tiny bit, like probably 1/4 of an inch, which will hopefully not be a big deal. But other than that, like, we're done. I sent the skirt with her because she's driving. She has like 4 hours on the road to go pick up a friend who's coming in town for her wedding. So I sent the skirt with her. She's gonna do the beading on the skirt. So that's gonna be taken care of. And then I think tomorrow we're gonna go do some bridals. So we're done. I might film a little bit of me finishing the sleeves. I might not, because I'm taking it to my parents and it's kind of hard to film over there. My yeah, so if I don't see you again, I hope you enjoy this final reveal footage.